Hebrews. This is our Prophets of Awakening. This is our evening Sabbath class, the 9th of April, 2022. I'll be reading later on Joshua 62 and 63, and then breaking it down. So asking everybody to like, share, and subscribe to Prophets of Awakening channel, and hit the notification button if you can. It's a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh, which is the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and then the Torah. And the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by Moses by the Lord of Hosts. Okay, I say shalom and welcome everyone to Prophets of Awakening, and welcome to our evening Sabbath class. We're gonna do our moment of silence and prayer, and then songs, and then we're going to some need information, then Q&A, and we're going to the class. Okay. So, oh Lord, I pray unto the Lord, my God. We make our confessions, O Lord, great and dreadful God, keeping covenant and mercy with them that love thee and them that keep thy commandments. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us a confusion of face, as it is this day, to the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven us, because of our trespass, that we have trespassed against thee. As it is written in the laws of Moses, all this evil has come upon us in the land of our captivity, here in the Americas and in the Caribbean, Great Britain, and Africa. O Lord, according to all thy righteousness, I beseech thee, let thine anger and thy fury be turned away from thy city, Jerusalem, and thy people, and thy holy mountain. O Lord, hear this prayer and cause thy face to shine upon thy sanctuary and thy people for the Lord's sake. O Lord, open thy eyes and incline thine ears to hear and to behold our condition. O Lord, hear, O Lord, forgive. O Lord, hearken and do, and defer not, for thine own sake. O my Lord, for thy people and your land need you desperately at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay. Yep. We'll do a little song right quick. Okay. I'm gonna read Psalms 46. It's God is our refuge and strength. It says, God is our refuge and our strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof, Selah, there is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacle of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her. And that right early. The heathens raged. The kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, and the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah, come before the works of the Lord. What desolations he have made in the earth. Wars to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow. He cutteth the spear asunder. He burneth the chariot in fire. Be still and know that I, God, I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. Okay, that was Psalms 46. God is our refuge and our strength. Anybody got any comments on that?
Yes, I just want to make a comment on, God is our refuge and our strength. And, we have to understand that it's God alone, not something or someone else. It's Him
Right.
alone.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah, they wanna, well, based on how they came in and deceived us with the New Testament, they want to put all these different idols and entities there, and it's not in the scriptures. When you read it, it's not there.
Right.
If you read it right, you see what's going on. Yeah.
The Lord is my refuge, my fortress. In Him I will trust.
Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
That's all you got to do.
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that something?
Hallelujah.
Mm-hmm. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Celebrating the historic confirmation of Ketanji Brown Jackson to the U.S. Supreme Court. ABC's White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks is in Washington with more. Mary Alice, good morning.
Well, good morning. The president yesterday marking a campaign promise kept and cementing a key part of his legacy. There was this moment at the start the vice president was talking about the history being made with Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, now the first Black woman confirmed to the highest court. And President Biden joyfully interjected, "About time." And that has been his message, that he thought it was about time the Supreme Court looked more like America.
Flanked by two Black women he helped promote, President Biden all smiles Friday, celebrating the confirmation of his first Supreme Court nominee, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, and the history she has now made.
This is going to let so much sunshine on so many young women, so many young Black women.
The president said he knew it would not be easy for the first Black woman nominated to the highest court, but argued that the questions she faced during her hearings amounted to verbal abuse.
In the face of it all, Judge Jackson showed the incredible character and integrity she possesses. Poise.
Judge Jackson then taking the podium herself, with humility thanking many in the crowd by name.
No one does this on their own.
Her two daughters in the front row. Back in 2016, Layla wrote to then President Barack Obama, asking him to consider her mother for the high court. That dream now about to come true.
It has taken 232 years and 115 prior appointments for a Black woman to be selected to serve on the Supreme Court of the United States.
Jackson moving from herself to her place in history, quoting the renowned poet Maya Angelou.
I do so now while bringing the gifts my ancestors gave. I strongly believe that this is a moment in which all Americans can take great pride. We have come a long way toward perfecting our union. In my family, it took just one generation to go from segregation to the Supreme Court of the United States.
And Judge Jackson will take her oath and her seat on the bench this summer, likely in June or July, when the court finishes its sessions for this year and Justice Stephen Breyer retires. Janae.
So much history to celebrate, Mary Alice. Thank you so much.
Okay. Any comments on that?
Did she think that they're celebrating? Everyone is celebrating. They're not. I hope she don't really think that. Just look at that hearing. She cannot really believe that. It sounded good, but yeah.
Right. Exactly. That's a plot. It's a means to an end. The reason they're doing it. Is there something?
Right.
Right.
Did you hear what she said? Joe Biden helped promote 2 Black women.
Right. Exactly. Ain't that something?
Really?
OMG.
One. We don't know what she's going to be like, but not 2. It's clear it's not 2.
Right.
Is there something?
Hello and welcome back to the channel. I am about to share with you all a very shocking and sad report on the amount of plastic that's in people's lungs and is actually killing them. They're saying microplasms are found deep in lungs of living people for the first time. Droplets and specks and small pieces of plastic in the lungs. Now, the report I'm going to share with you, I'm not shocked by it because the world has just been flooded with plastic, and it continues to be flooded with plastic, right? You can't get rid of this stuff. They are using it in just about everything, right? And so I am not shocked by this, but I am deeply saddened by it because this report is actually going to show how this has affected people's health. And we already know that it will continue to do that. So anyway, take a listen at this deeply troubling report, and I will be right back.
Microplastic pollution has been discovered lodged deep in the lungs of living people for the first time. The particles were found in almost all the samples analyzed. The scientists said microplastic pollution was now ubiquitous across the planet, making human exposure unavoidable and meaning there is an increasing concern regarding the hazards to health. Samples were taken from tissue removed from 13 patients undergoing surgery, and microplastics were found in 11 cases. The most common particles were polypropylene, used in plastic packaging and pipes, and PET, used in bottles. 2 previous studies had found microplastics at similarly high rates in lung tissue taken during autopsies. People were already known to breathe in the tiny particles, as well as consuming them via food and water. Workers exposed to high levels of microplastics are also known to have developed disease. Microplastics were detected in human blood for the first time in March, showing the particles can travel around the body and may lodge in organs. The impact on health is as yet unknown. But researchers are concerned as microplastics cause damage to human cells in the laboratory, and air pollution particles are already known to enter the body and cause millions of early deaths a year. We did not expect to find the highest number of particles in the lower regions of the lungs, or particles of the sizes we found, said Laura Sadowski at Hull York Medical School in the UK, a senior author of the study. It is surprising as the airways are smaller in the lower parts of the lungs, and we would have expected particles of these sizes to be filtered out or trapped before getting this deep. This data provides an important advance in the field of air pollution, microplastics, and human health, she said. The information could be used to create realistic conditions for laboratory experiments to determine health impacts. The research, which has been accepted for publication by the journal Science of the Total Environment, used samples of healthy lung tissue from next to the surgery targets. It analyzed particles down to 0.003 millimeters in size and used spectroscopy to identify the type of plastic. It also used control samples to account for the level of background contamination. A 2021 study in Brazil on autopsy samples found microplastics in 13 of the 20 people analyzed, whose average age was higher than those assessed by Sadowski's study. Polyethylene, used in plastic bags, was one of the most common particles. The researchers concluded deleterious health outcomes may be related to these contaminants in the respiratory system following inhalation. A U.S. study of lung cancer patients in 1998 found plastic and plant fibers, such as cotton, in more than 100 samples. In cancerous tissue, 97% of samples contained the fibers, and in non-cancerous samples, 83% were contaminated. Huge amounts of plastic waste are dumped in the environment, and microplastics contaminate the entire planet, from the summit of Mount Everest to the deepest oceans. Microplastics have been found in the placentas of pregnant women, and in pregnant rats they pass rapidly through the lungs into the hearts, brains, and other organs of the fetuses. A recent review assessed cancer risk and concluded more detailed research on how micro and nanoplastics affect the structures and processes of the human body, and whether and how they can transform cells and induce carcinogenesis, is urgently needed, particularly in light of the exponential increase in plastic production.
Man, that report was deeply troubling. It was deeply troubling because.
Okay, so what do you think about that?
My opinion, I think it has a lot to do with these masks and stuff that we've been wearing the last couple of years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
they saying they just not finding it, but everything is packaged in plastic, and you got to think about like this 5-minute rice stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff that I think about when they was mentioning that. Yeah.
It's kind of like the asbestos. Remember they were talking about the asbestos that you couldn't see it. All those people got in their lungs and they developed this cancer because they had this asbestos particles in their lungs.
Right. The thing about it to me is they making this statement about the plastic that being thrown out as trash all over the place. How it get in specks inside your lung.
Right.
So it's got to be some other way that there's, because it's like nano material. So that means it's got to be, or like what they doing with that spraying. When they come out spraying out over the top of our heads, when they spraying those chemtrails. It's got to be something that they spraying like that deliberately, or it's in the fertilizer and it end up in the fruit or the plants that we eating, because how you gonna get those type of?
For it to be in your lungs, you having to breathe it. It's not like breathing. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's something they doing intentionally because the plastic on the side of the road, how it's gonna get in your lungs in bits like that. Something else going on.
Right. That's
in the water. It could be in the water too.
Yeah, food, the water. Yeah,
it's coming in like that. It get coming in from no plastic on the side of the road or in the ocean. Yeah. Is there something?
I know I read a while ago, some kids when I was in school, they had where in Asian countries, they like say lettuce. The lettuce was not, and it looks like lettuce, but it's made out of some other material.
Right, exactly.
It's not real food.
It's a lot of that. Exactly. Yeah. I was looking. I don't know if I brought it up on Props Up Waking or not, but like a couple of weeks ago, they was talking about how the wrapping paper they're using at these McDonald's and all them is getting people sick. Whatever it is they made it out of or whatever's on it, when they wrap the food or whatever it is they're wrapping, it gets on the food. Then whatever they bought, the person that bought it, it ends up in their system.
Wow.
And that's got to be the way this stuff's going. There's something going on with that. The reason how it getting in our system.
Right. You got to think about all the fruits and stuff now that don't have seeds anymore. Like all of that.
Right. Oh yeah. Is there something? Yeah. Let's check out this next video and see what we talk about. Some need to know information.
Remember I told y'all these sick ass people was taking people's soul, consciousness, whatever you want to call it, downloading it to a chip and putting it into robot avatars. So they getting rid of this body, this shell. Putting your consciousness into a robot that can live forever. Now listen, you ever seen the movie Replicas with Keanu Reeves? He did the same thing with his family. I told you about that movie and a lot of other movies. Basically, with the metaverse. See, this shit will get real interesting. The metaverse. They're saying now that you can live longer if you download your brain or download your consciousness into the metaverse.
Let me tell you about my nose hairs and
okay, when you download your consciousness into an avatar and you could live however long you want to live into the metaverse. See, a lot of people can't fathom this right now. They don't consciously have the understanding to stomach what I'm saying. These people are playing God on a whole nother level. Now you can sit back, you say what you want to say, because ignorance ain't gonna save you. Because you're ignorant to what they're doing, it's not gonna stop them from doing it. It's not gonna save you. So let me put you on game. The metaverse, this 5D world, fake ass world, right? How can you consume a physical world and move over to a digital world and consume that? People are spending millions of dollars into the metaverse. This is why they're grooming this into you. They're massaging it into you. Did you hear what I said? If you had an avatar on the metaverse, you could download your physical consciousness into the computer. And your avatar will basically be the body of you, okay? And you will have all your, I guess, whatever you want to call your soul. Your soul will be transferred over to the metaverse. Come on, people. Yeah. You know, people saying this and this. And I keep telling you, these people that are running the world have a whole different agenda. They don't give a damn about how much money you got. They don't give a damn about what you believe in religiously. Their agenda is going according to plan. I don't think y'all heard me. I'm going to say it again. You can download your brain, your consciousness, your soul into the metaverse. And you will have an avatar. You know what I'm saying? So you're coming up out of this shell. This body here is no longer no good. You're coming out this body and you're going into the metaverse where you can live, they say, longer than 150 years. Do you understand what's happening, people? And I know a lot of y'all might say, man, this nigga crazy. Like I told y'all, the nigga in the movie that was crazy, at the end of the movie turned out to be the one that had all the sense. Yeah. This ain't about us debating with each other on what's what, and this is, I'm telling y'all what's happening. And I told y'all, once the media and once the news get hold of it, it's too late. Now they marketing and exposing it. So whatever you think about when it comes to this world, you need to get that shit together. You need to really sit down with your family, sit down with people you trust, and understand, man. We all need to come up with a plan. Because this plan that these people got, the agenda that they have, it doesn't involve us. And I'm gonna do a whole other video about this. I don't think this one video gonna do. But I just want to throw this out there. These people been doing this type of shit. You know, in the lab with having motherless babies. You know, in incubators, in laboratory, lab babies, having lab babies without mothers. So the role of a mother is about to be obsolete. Same as the role with the father. When they brought in Section 8, housing, food stamps, and all these different things. They snatched the role of a father out the family. We don't need you, nigga. We got the government. And I'm not saying all women, but y'all get what I'm saying. Okay? Vibe with me here. Now they doing it to the mothers. You'll be able to have a child without a mother. These people are playing God on a whole other level, and they're tricking you in the process. So I guess, like I always say with these religious people, I guess y'all only gonna go so far with it when it comes to them tampering with the way God intended things to be. That's why I say I don't do that. Don't come to me with that. If you're gonna ride, you're gonna ride. But they teach us to just wait for God to come to smooth things out. Okay? That's to each his own. I don't come off to be disrespectful, but this shit ain't got nothing to do with what you believe in. What's happening in front of us right now, we don't have time to argue about religion. Okay? But my thing is this. When we as people want to come together, and I can almost say that we're gonna come together when it's too late. And when I say come together, I mean once we all see that it's here, like we see it's here. I bet you all these people that so-called against each other start clicking up in the metaverse, buying land, buildings, islands. So we moving from a physical world over to a digital world, and I'm telling you, I don't think people comprehend what I'm saying.
Okay. There's name of that is I Knew It This is the real reason why they created the metaverse. So if you want to watch it, it's got about 5 more minutes. Any comments? What you think about that? I know one thing they're showing us in the movies that's just like Get Out. It's just another, it's a slight twist to it, but that's what they was doing in the movie Get Out, and then in the movie Avatar. And you can see them moving that direction because of people do anything to their bodies now. They alter their bodies, knowing that it can't last but so long. I saw TikTok where this girl was showing where she had went and got some breast implants, and then one of her breasts split in half. She was sitting there crying, and yeah, I'm like, wow.
Oh wow.
That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it split in half. She was split it right down the middle. She was showing it with
Oh.
her eye. She couldn't believe it. Yeah, she's just crying and crying. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
And then they get on TikTok. What can the people do? I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
And
understand.
then even if it turned out good, how long you think it's gonna last? When you alter your body flesh and you tied to something like that, it can't gonna look right, but for so long, then you're gonna be looking crazy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just like what happened to what's the singer name? K Michelle.
Yeah, right.
Wasn't
Exactly.
nothing wrong with you, but you want to go get a butt implant and all this, and almost end up dying.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. They said they can't even they didn't have enough flights to get over there to take them people over there to the islands to get those butt transplants. They said they over there, they flocking over there. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
And now she got this big dent in her butt,
Right.
for life.
Is there something? Oh, gee. Yeah, let me play this here. Then I'm gonna read Joshua 62 and 63. And we'll close out. This is about climate change. Like I said, if it ain't one thing, it's something else. It says that hold up. Okay. Yeah, it's the UN climate change report, and it says that says we are on the path to an unlivable planet, and we did it. It says earlier this week, a bunch of scientists announced we are on a track toward an unlivable world. I missed the news initially because a passing fire tornado knocked out my internet service, but once I learned about it, I had what I assume is a common reaction. Wow, we did it. Okay, that's right, folks. After decades of doing our level best to destroy the planet we are inhabited, we're finally on a cusp of success. A new report by the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change says it's now impossible to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees of Celsius. I guess that's the word. The point at which scientists believe extreme weather events will dramatically alter life on Earth without immediate and deep emission reduction across all sectors. Has the Intergovernmental Panel ever met any humans, people who won't make the effort to wear a face mask during a deadly pandemic, unlikely to engage in immediate or deep reductions of anything? Okay, so they're letting us know what's coming. That's the way I see that. So he said the UN Security General Antonio Guterres said that it is a file of shame cataloging the empty plagues that push us firmly on the track toward an unlivable world. We are already perilous, close to the tipping point that could lead to cascading and irreversible climate impacts. So we're letting you know what to look forward to. So, okay. Any comments on that? So should be expecting a horrific tornado season or hurricane season next year. We already warned you. Okay. Okay. So, nobody have any comments? I'm gonna read out of Joshua 62, out of Joshua chapter 62 and 63. Okay. Okay, it says, that year being the 60th, the 79th year of the Israelites going down into Egypt, died Reuben, the son of Jacob, in the land of Egypt. Reuben was 125 years old when he died, and they put him into a coffin, and he was given into the hands of his children. And in the 80th year died his brother Dan. He was 120 years old at his death, and he was also put into a coffin and given into the hands of his children. And in that year died Cusham, king of Edom, and after him reigned Hadad, the son of Bedad, for 35 years. And in the 81st year died Issachar, the son of Jacob, in Egypt. And Issachar was 122 years old at his death, and he was put into a coffin in Egypt and given into the hands of his children. And in the 82nd year died Asher, his brother. He was 123 years old at his death, and he was placed in a coffin in Egypt and given into the hands of his children. And in the 83rd year died Gad. He was 125 years old at his death, and he was put into a coffin in Egypt and given into the hands of his children. And it came to pass in the 84th year, that is the 50th year of the reign of Hadad, son of Bedad, king of Edom, that Hadad assembled all the children of Esau, and he got his whole army in readiness, about 400,000 men, and he directed his way to the land of Moab, and he went to fight with Moab, and to make them tributaries to him. The children of Moab heard this thing, and they were very much afraid, and they sent to the children of Midian to assist them in fighting with Hadad, son of Bedad, king of Edom. And Hadad came unto the land of Moab, and the children of Midian went out to meet him, and they placed themselves in battle array against him in the fields of Moab. And Hadad fought with Moab, and there fell of the children of Moab and the children of Midian many slain ones, about 200,000 men. And the battle was very severe upon Moab. And when the children of Moab saw that the battle was sore upon them, they weakened their hands and turned their backs, and left the children of Midian to carry the battle. And the children of Midian knew not the intention of Moab, but they strengthened themselves in battle and fought with Hadad and all his hosts. And all the Midians fell before him. And Hadad smote all the Midians with a heavy smiting, and he slew them with the edge of the sword, and he left none remaining of them who came to assist Moab. And when all the children of Midian had perished in battle, and the children of Moab had escaped, Hadad made all Moab at that time tributary to him, and they became under his hand. And they gave a yearly tax as it was ordered, and Hadad turned and went back to his land. And at the revolution of the year, when the rest of the people of Midian that were in the land heard that all their brethren had fallen in battle with Hadad for the sake of Moab, because the children of Moab had turned their backs in battle and left Midian to fight. Then 5 of the princes of Midian resolved with the rest of their brethren who remained in their land to fight with Moab to avenge the cause of their brethren. And the children of Midian sent to all the children of their brethren, children of the east, and all their brethren, all the children of Kirkuk, came to assist Midian to fight with Moab. And the children of Moab heard this thing, and they were greatly afraid that all the children of the east had assembled together against them for battle. And the children of Moab sent a memorial to the land of Edom to Hadad, son of Bedad, saying, Come now unto us and assist us, and we will smite Midian. For they all assembled together to have come against us with all their brethren and children of the east to battle, and to avenge the cause of Midian that fell in battle. And Hadad, son of Bedad, came to Edom, went forth with his whole army, and went to the land of Moab to fight with Midian. And Midian and the children of the east fought with Moab in the fields of Moab, and the battle was very fierce between them. And Hadad smote all the children of Midian and the children of the east with the edge of the sword. And Hadad at that time delivered Moab from the hands of Midian. And those that remained of Midian, with the children of the east, fled before Hadad and his army. And Hadad pursued them to their land and smote them with a very heavy slaughter, and the slain fell in the road. And Hadad delivered Moab from the hands of Midian, for all the children of Midian had fallen by the edge of the sword. And Hadad turned and went back to his land. And from that day forth, the children of Midian hated the children of Moab, because they had fallen in battle for their sake, and there was a great and mighty enmity between them all the days. And all that were found of Midian in the road of the land of Moab perished by the sword of Moab, and all that were found of Moab in the land of Midian perished by the sword of Midian. Thus did Midian unto the Moabs, and Moab unto Midian for many days. And it came to pass at that time that Judah, the son of Jacob, died in Egypt, in the 86th year of Jacob, going down into Egypt. And Judah was 129 years old at his death. And they embalmed him and put him in a coffin, and he was given unto the hands of his children. And in the 89th year died Naphtali. He was 132 years old, and he was put into a coffin and given into the hands of his children. And it came to pass in the 91st year of the Israelites going down into Egypt, that it is in the 30th year of the reign of Zephno, son of Eliphaz, son of Esau, over the children of Chechem. And the children of Africa came upon the children of Chechem to plunder them as usual, but they had not come upon them for these 30 years. And they came to them in that year, and Zephno, the son of Eliphaz, went out to them with some of his men, smote them desperately, and the troops of Africa fled from before Zephno, and the slain fell before him, and Zephno and his men pursued them, going on and smiting them until they were near unto Africa. And Angus, king of Africa, heard the thing which Zephno had done, and it vexed him exceedingly, and Angus was afraid of Zephno all his days. Okay, that was Joshua chapter 62. So what I got out of that chapter was that you notice that when the time came, Most High was getting ready to do something else. All the righteous men, they passed on. The same thing right here. It reminded me of the flood. Right before the flood, he said that all those righteous men that's mentioned in the Bible, in Genesis, they passed away. Because he said he didn't want them to see the evil they was getting ready to bring. So they all passed away except Noah and Shem. Okay. Anybody else have any comments on that? What I just read? Anything ring a bell? Yeah, I'm in chapter 63. I'm gonna read that and then we'll close out. Say in the 93rd year died Levi, the son of Jacob, in Egypt. And Levi was 137 years old when he died, and they put him into a coffin, and he was given unto the hands of his children. And it came to pass after the death of Levi, when all Egypt saw that the sons of Jacob, the brethren of Joseph, were dead, all Egyptians began to afflict the children of Jacob, and to embitter their lives from that day until the day of their going forth from Egypt. And he took from their hands all the vineyards and fields which Joseph had given unto them, and all the eloquent houses in which the people of Israel lived, and all the fat of Egypt. And the Egyptians took all from the sons of Jacob in those days. So you see, this is what was getting ready to happen. That's the reason why the 12 sons of Jacob passed away. He didn't want him to see it. Verse 3, Jasher 63:3. The hand of all Egyptians became more grievous in those days against the children of Israel, and Egyptians enjoined the Israelites until the children of Israel were weary of their lives on account of the Egyptians. And it came to pass in those days, in the 102nd year of the Israel's going down into Egypt, that the Pharaoh, king of Egypt, died, and Melo, his son, reigned in his stead, and all the mighty men of Egypt and all that generation which knew Joseph and his brethren died in those days. And another generation rose up in their stead, which had not known the sons of Jacob, and all the good which they had done to them, and all their might in Egypt. Therefore, all Egypt began from that day forth to embitter the lives of the sons of Jacob, and to afflict them with all manner of hard labor, because they had not known their ancestors who had delivered them in the days of famine. And this was also from the Lord, for the children of Israel, to benefit them in their latter days, in order that the children of Israel might know the Lord their God. So evidently they had turned away from him. It says, verse 8, in order to know the signs and the mighty wonders which the Lord would do in Egypt on account of his people Israel, in order that the children of Israel might fear the Lord God of their ancestors, and the Lord and the work and walk in all his ways, they and their seed after them all the days. And Milo was 20 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 94 years. And all Egypt called his name Pharaoh after the name of his father, as it was their custom to do to every king who reigned over them in Egypt. At that time, all the troops of Angus, king of Africa, went forth to spread along the land of Chechem as usual for plunder. And Zephaniah, the son of Eliphaz, son of Esau, heard their report, and he went forth to meet them with his army, and he fought them there in the road. And Zephaniah smote the troops of king of Angus with the edge of the sword, and left none remaining of them, not even one returned to his master in Africa. And Angus heard of this, which Zephaniah, son of Eliphaz, had done to all his troops, that he had destroyed them. And Angus assembled all his troops, and all the men of the land of Africa, a people numerous like the sands of the seashore. And Angus sent to Lucas his brother, saying, come to me with all thy men, and help me with smite Zephaniah and all the children of Chichem, who have destroyed my men. And Lucas came with his whole army, a very great force, to assist Angus and Angus his brother to fight with Zephaniah and the children of Chichem. And Zephaniah and the children of Chichem heard this thing, and they were greatly afraid, and a great terror fell upon their hearts. And Zephaniah also sent a letter to the land of Edom, to Hadad, the son of Bedad, king of Edom, and to all the children of Esau, saying, I have heard that Angus, king of Africa, is coming to us with his brother to battle against us, and we are greatly afraid of him, for his army is very great, particularly as he comes against us with his brother and his army likewise. Now therefore come ye also up to me and help me, and we will fight together against Angus and his brother Lucas, and you shall save us out of their hands. But if not, know ye that we shall all die. And the children of Esau sent a letter to the children of Chechem and to Zephaniah their king, saying, we cannot fight against Angus and his people, for the covenant of peace has been between us these many years, from the days of Bela the first king, and from the days of Joseph, son of Jacob, king of Egypt, with whom we fought on the other side of the Jordan when he buried his father. And when Zephaniah heard the words of his brother and the children of Esau, he refrained from them, and Zephaniah was greatly afraid of Angus. And Angus and Lucas, his brother, arrayed all their forces, about 800,000 men, against the children of Chechem. And all the children of Chechem said to Zephaniah, pray for us to God of thy ancestors, and peradventure he may deliver us from the hand of Angus and his army, for we have heard that he is a great God, and that he delivers all who trust in him. And Zephaniah heard their word, and Zephaniah sought the Lord, and he said, O Lord God of Abraham and Isaac, my ancestors. This day I know that thou art a true God, and all the gods of the nations are vain and useless. Remember now this day unto me thy covenant with Abraham our father, which our ancestors laid unto us, and to do graciously with me this day for the sake of Abraham, Isaac, and our fathers, and save me and the children of Checham from the hand of the king of Africa who comes against us for battle. Okay? And the Lord hearkened to the voice of Zephno, and he had regard for him on account of Abraham and Isaac. And the Lord delivered Zephno and the children of Checham from the hand of Angus and his people. And Zephno fought against Angus, king of Africa, and all his people on that day. And the Lord gave all the people of Angus into the hands of the children of Checham. And the battle was severe on Angus. And Zephno smote all the men of Angus, and Lucas, his brother, with the edge of the sword. And there fell from them until the evening of that day about 400,000 men. When Angus saw that all his men perished, he sent a letter to all the inhabitants of Africa to come to him to assist him in battle. And he wrote in the letter, saying, all who are found in Africa, let them come unto me from 10 years old and upward, and let them all come unto me. And behold, if he comes not, he shall die. And all he has, and this is the whole household, king will take. And all the rest of the inhabitants of Africa were terrified at the words of Angus. And there went out of the cities about 300,000 men and boys from 10 years old upward, and they came to Angus. And at the end of 10 years, Angus renewed the battle against Zephno and the children of Checham, and the battle was very great and strong between them. And from the army of Angus and Lucas, Zephno sent many of the wounded into his hands, about 2,000 men. And I don't know this guy's name. So Fartar, the captain of the host of Angus, fell in the battle. And when Sessatar had fallen, the African troops turned their backs to flee, and they fell. And Angus and Lucas, his brother, were with them. And Zephno and the children of Chetham pursued them, and they smote them still heavily on the road, about 200 men. And they pursued Azadol, the son of Angus, who had fled in battle, fled with his father, and they smote 20 of his men in the road. And Azadol escaped from the children of Checham, and they did not slay him. And Angus and Lucas, his brothers, fell with the rest of their men, and they escaped and came into Africa with terror and consternation. And Angus feared all the days lest Zephno, the son of Eliphaz, should go to war with him. Okay, so that was Joshua chapter 62 and 63. And the thing I got out of 63 was that we don't hear nothing about in the Old Testament. We don't really hear nothing about no wars with the Egyptians or with the people of Africa. But we see right here in the book of Joshua. And we definitely don't hear nothing about no wars with people from Africa in the New Testament. Is something? Shalom, bro. Okay. So, anybody got any comments on that?
Why do you think that is? I mean, what would it? I'm trying to see the motive.
Well, they don't want you to know that the people was black. They're hiding it.
Okay. You're saying, because I'm still thinking as far as Israelites, okay, because we know who they are. So you're saying before this, if they would have had African nations and things, then we would know, okay, this is all, yeah.
Right.
Because my thing is just looking at all the different types of people in Africa, all the different, types of black people in Africa.
Right.
Somebody was mentioning somewhere about how, we look different. It's just, it's a difference. And, they always made us think, we all one big monolith where everybody's the same just because we're black.
Exactly.
Just like white people. I mean, they're different nations. It's different nations in Africa.
Right. And we don't focus on that. But that's where we That's how we getting hoodwinked, because we ain't focused on that, because of, like I said before, that's you got to think about a person with fire red hair. You know what I'm saying? You got to ask where that came from. And then green eyes, blue eyes, and all that. You know what I'm saying? That's more reptilian and serpentine than it is human. When you start looking at snakes and lizards and all that, they're the ones with all these funny color eyes. But we don't focus in on none of that. But yeah. There's some.
That's probably why I don't like lizards and cats. I hate to say I don't like cats, but I mean, people love the cats, but I think it's the eyes that irritate.
Right. And then they always staring at you too.
And they kind of sneaky. They just kind of sit back and look, just like a snake. Their eyes is kind of, you could be looking one way and the eyes would be, yeah, I can't.
Is there some? Okay. Yeah, so with that being said, I'm gonna go to I'll see everybody on Tuesday for our advanced Bible study. And I'm gonna say shalom. Let me get this right here. Exactly right. Yeah, I'm gonna say shalom, and I'll see everybody on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Shalom.
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 Okay.